Have you ever said, I'm just not motivated. I didn't feel like exercising. I didn't feel like doing the meal prepping. I just wasn't in the mood. Most of us have said things like these. And the problem is that if we wait till we feel motivated to make healthy choices, we're probably going to be waiting a long time. So today I'm going to be sharing a simple tool called the AVA Method to help you deal with these feelings that come up. Because, right, a lot of times we'll say, I don't feel motivated. First of all, motivated is not the true feeling, but there's a feeling there and we have to validate that, and then we have to act on our values. So this tool is something I recently learned in a group coaching program that I am part of. So I love sharing this with my clients, and I think it's a really good way to separate our thoughts and our feelings from what our values are and what we choose to do. Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michele, mama 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. All right, so first I want to start with acknowledging that feelings are real and we actually need to acknowledge them, but we don't have to let them be in charge. So I feel like a lot of people I work with grew up in the extreme of ignoring feelings, pushing feeling down, thinking you're all right, not acknowledging them. Right? And there are cases where sometimes people let their feelings dictate everything, and neither works very well because our feelings do matter. They give us some information, but we have to remember that feelings are temporary. They come and go, right? You can think of a time you were sad, you didn't stay sad. Maybe there was a time you felt anxious and you haven't stayed anxious. Feelings come and go. They change throughout the day. They can change on a minute by minute basis. But when we're having a strong feeling, it feels like really strong and like it's going to stay there. So when it comes to our health, we don't want to be making decisions just based on how we feel in a moment, because then we might be real inconsistent with our healthy habits. We need to make a decision based on our values. So AVA is spelled AVA. So the A stands for acknowledge. So this is to notice your feeling, notice your emotion. And it is great to think of an emotion word that a 5-year-old could use. So I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling mad. Sometimes even words like stress and overwhelm, those really aren't feelings. So we want to think of an emotion and simply name it. We're going to acknowledge it. So often we don't even pause to acknowledge what we're feeling or what's going on. But all we're going to do is simply name it. Then V in AVA is validate. So you can tell yourself it makes sense to feel this way. I had a busy week. I didn't sleep well. This is understandable. We're giving ourselves that empathy and that understanding and validating why we feel this way. So we're not fighting the emotion. We're not pretending it doesn't exist. We're acknowledging it and we're validating it. Yeah, this makes sense. And then the last A is going to be act. And we need to act on our values. So we want to know what our values are. We want to get clear on that. And sometimes that's in coaching, that's what I'm really helping people to realize is what are their values, what are their priorities, what is important to them. And then in that moment, when you're having a feeling, you can think, what choice aligns with my values? And we can make that decision from a calm place from our values. So I'm going to give an example, the morning workout. The alarm goes off. We might tell ourselves, I feel tired, I feel unmotivated. and we would rather stay in bed. So we can acknowledge that we're feeling tired, we're feeling sleepy. We can validate that. Yeah, that makes sense. I stayed up late. I didn't get enough sleep, or I didn't sleep well. And then I'm going to act on my values. My value is that I get up and work out in the morning because it feels good when I do that. And I won't get it in the rest of the day. So you get up. Not because you felt motivated or you felt like getting up to work out, but because you're acting on your values and something you pre-decided. Another example, Mexican restaurant, the chips and salsa arrive. And you know that your meal is going to be enough food. Your meal is probably more than enough food. But the chips are sitting right there. So first, we need to acknowledge our feelings, right? I really want those chips. Our feeling might be like we're excited, we're happy. We can validate that. Of course I want these chips. Of course I'm excited to eat them. They're delicious. They're my favorite. They're right here. How could I not eat them? But instead of but, I actually like and. So and I'm going to act on my values. I'm going to act on, I know my meal is going to be more than enough, and I would rather eat my tacos or whatever else I'm getting for my meal. I value eating intentionally and not overstuffing myself and feeling like crap later. So maybe in your values, you skip the chips. Maybe in your values, you have a couple and you stop. The point is that you're making a choice based on your values rather than just that impulse because something is right there. One more example, dessert, right? You finish dinner, you're full, but someone offers you dessert. And your value is, I'm not going to eat when I'm not hungry, or I'm not going to overeat. So I can acknowledge like, that looks really good. I would be really excited to eat it. Or I can acknowledge, well, I feel really sad that I'm not going to eat that, and validate it. Of course this feels sad. Of course this feels hard. This dessert is delicious. And I'm going to act on my values. I'm not hungry. I don't need this. I can get up and walk away. I can chew some gum. So it's living very intentionally. So it's so easy just to eat whatever is in front of us, do what we always have done because our brain is based on habits. That's the easiest, most comfortable thing to do. But I encourage you guys to get some clarity on what your values are, what you want to be intentional about, what you would feel good about doing. And notice how your feelings or your thoughts start to pull you in another direction in a moment. Notice if you're using the excuse, I don't feel motivated, and you're not doing things. Where can you bring some clarity and some truth to that about what's going on? Because we don't have to feel motivated to make choices to do something. So we can't let motivation be that deciding factor about whether we get healthy or not. And I encourage you that if you feel like your emotions keep pulling you off track with eating, exercise, or consistency, that you're not alone. And this is exactly what I help women do in coaching. Together, we work on changing habits, improving mindset, just figuring out what those values are, what those habits are that you are ready to do in your life right now. Figuring out that next step to lead you on a life where you are living more intentionally and more within your values. So if you would like support, I encourage you to set up just a free health coaching call. It's a no pressure call. We'll just talk through your goals, your struggles, where you're at, what that next step might be. And there's a link in the description where you guys can do that. So remember that AVA method. Acknowledge your feelings. Use basic emotional words that a 5-year-old could. Validate it. Give yourself some understanding why you feel that way, because our feelings are not bad. And then act on your values. Your feelings are real and they matter, but your values need to lead what you're doing and the decisions that you are making. All right, friends, I hope you guys have a great week and keep on moving.